A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning into KUTV Primetime News at 9. We have so much in store for you, but first let's get an introduction. Yes, and being Katiba Day, today we are asking, has Kenya really realized the constitutional promise of having leaders who are accountable and responsible on their actions? We are asking, has Kenya really realized the constitutional promise of having leaders who are accountable and responsible on their deeds and their service unto you, the Mwananchi? Engage with us on our socials, KUTV News Kenya YouTube, on X KUTV_Kenya. Now, Mutava Mongeli is joining us for the sign language interpretation. My name is Ochieng, Cynthia, and let's get started. President William Ruto has defended the mandate of elected governments, stressing that power obtained through the ballot must be exercised within constitutional limits. Speaking as Kenya marked 16 years since the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution, Ruto reaffirmed the independence of the judiciary and to uphold citizens' constitutional right to peaceful protest, emphasizing the need to respect democratic institutions and the rule of law.
16 years after the 2010 Constitution was promulgated, President William Ruto called for fresh accounting of how power had been exercised.
Mighty God of all creation.
Addressing the Katiba at 16 celebrations at KICC, Ruto said the ballot had given an elected government the legitimacy and responsibility to implement its programs, but stressed that the mandate had not existed outside the Constitution.
Universal health care, affordable housing, food security, education and social protection became central pillars of our national transformation plan. The bottom-up economic transformation agenda was, from the outset, designed as an instrument for the implementation of the Constitution.
President Ruto said judicial independence had remained non-negotiable and that courts had to remain free to interpret the Constitution and invalidate unlawful actions. He, however, raised a question over the space available to elected institutions to implement policies within their constitutional authority.
Executive, legislative, and judicial authority all derive legitimacy from the people and must be exercised in their service. Where a government acts unlawfully, it must obey the courts and correct its course. Where lawful policy choices fall within the constitutional authority of elected institutions, that democratic space must also be respected.
While reflecting on the 2024 protests, Ruto added that Kenyans had exercised their constitutional freedoms, acknowledging deaths and allegations of human rights violation, saying such claims had to be independently investigated, and that the right to assembly did not extend to violence, looting, or destruction of property.
We cannot honor the Constitution by looking away from such allegations. Every credible allegation of a human rights violation must be investigated independently, thoroughly, and transparently. Where wrongdoing is established, those responsible must be held accountable in accordance with the law.
Amid debate over electoral authority, judicial oversight and accountability as Kenya headed towards the 2027 general election. 16 years later, the debate has moved from constitutional promises to how they have been honored in practice. Brian Ouma, KUTV.
Bahi, Mheshimiwa Bwana Sheria Mkuu hivi sasa.
Now, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has called on Kenyans to reflect on the progress made in implementing the 2010 Constitution. Speaking at the Kenyatta International Convention Center KICC in Nairobi, Kindiki highlighted gains in strengthening relations among the three arms of the government, while acknowledging challenges that continue to hamper the full realization of the Constitution's ideals.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has noted the strides made in implementing the 2010 Constitution, including strengthening the mutual respect among the executive, judiciary and legislature.
Maneno ya wimbo wa taifa.
Speaking during Katiba Day celebrations at KICC, Kindiki described the Constitution as the software of the nation, while highlighting Article 10 as a key safeguard for the national values and principles of governance.
And how we have come to perfect devolution, to respect the independence of the judiciary, to respect the independence of the legislature, how far the legislature has been a check on the executive, and how far the judiciary has helped us to interpret the laws of our land. That is the third thing that runs through my mind.
Kindiki challenged Kenyans to reflect on the extent to which the country has upheld the democratic ideals and principles enshrined in the 2010 Constitution. He acknowledged that while Kenya has made notable strides over the past 16 years, challenges and shortcomings still hinder the full realization of the constitutional framework and its intended objectives.
And I think on a day like this one, we will be listening to one another to find out what journey we have covered and where the gaps are, so that we can perfect our nation's software as we also strengthen its hardware.
On his part, Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service Felix Koskei has applauded the 2010 Constitution, saying it ushered in devolution, which he argues has brought government resources and decision-making process closer to the people.
Among its most consequential reforms were devolution and the establishment of Constitutional Commission and independent offices. Devolution brought government resources and decision-making closer to the people. Constitutional commissions and independent offices were established to protect the sovereignty of the people, secure observance by all state organs of democratic values and principles, and promote constitutionalism.
Katiba Day was first observed in 2025 and is marked every 27th August to commemorate Kenya's 2010 Constitution. The occasion is observed across the country and at Kenyan diplomatic missions abroad, although it remains a working day and is not a public holiday. Vincent Karoli, KUTV, Nairobi.
Well, internal friction within the Democracy for Citizens Party in Kirinyaga County has escalated following the heated confrontations during party leaders Rigathi Gachagua's recent county tour. Aspirants are now accusing factional leaders of political gatekeeping and demanding a level playing field ahead of the 2027 general election. The political storm erupted after Kirinyaga Women Representative Njeri Maina accused gubernatorial aspirant Wangui Ngirishi of transporting goons to disrupt party meetings in Kiriangana, Ndia and Gishugu. However, a section of party members led by Gishugu parliamentary aspirant Njeri Mbogo rejected the claims, accusing party insiders of systematically locking out rival politicians and charging up to 50,000 to address church and community gatherings.
Ambie hapa Kirinyaga watu wanakupenda Your Excellency Rigiji. Lakini kuna watu wachache wenye wanataka kukumisread ama kukupea wrong information about Kirinyaga. Kindly kuja hapa Kirinyaga hata bila aspirant ama leadership yoyote. Kuja sikiza Wanjiku wa Kirinyaga anataka nini.
Mbogo defended Girishi's right to political space and criticized Women Representative Njeri Maina alongside Senator Kamau Murago for neglecting their local duties.
Nyinyi mlichaguliwa mtumikie watu wa Kirinyaga County na ni kama mmesahau. Watu wa Kirinyaga walinituma wakaniambia niwaambie mmesahau kazi yenu juu youth hawapati pesa ya tempo banking. Wamama saa hizi wakifanya mikutano ni kuchoma, najua juu hakuna tent, na hiyo ni kazi ya women rep.
In response, an opposing faction led by former Kerugoya MCA Muthi Kabanya turned the spotlight back on Girishi, alleging that she is working with external government operatives to destabilize the party from within.
Pileto wangu Girishi amekuja chama ya DCP juzi. Tangu akuja chama ya DCP tumeona mashida mingi ikifanyika. Huko Kiaragana walibeba vijana malori kutoka Nairobi ili wakunje wavuruge amani na wapige wafuasi wa Gachagua. Tunawajua ya kwamba wametumwa na serikali ya Ruto wakunje wavuruge mikutano ya Gachagua. Isemekana ya kwamba ni kana kama Mheshimiwa Gachagua ana wafuasi Kirinyaga.
With rival factions calling for independent investigations and vetting mechanisms, party leader Rigathi Gachagua faces a major test in consolidating his Mount Kenya base as internal squabbles threaten to fracture the party before the 2027 contest.
In other news, female Masons from Segera Ward, Laikipia County are pioneering affordable housing by utilizing interlocking hollow block technology skills to build climate-resistant homes, slashing construction cost by 30% and uplifting vulnerable families. As Kenya faces housing deficit, this is the second region after Tana River to adopt this technology.
In the heart of Segera Ward, Laikipia County, a group of determined young women are reshaping the future of rural housing by using interlocking hollow block technology to transform the lives of vulnerable families. The beneficiaries include a 71-year-old widow, Napayongi lady currently taking care of 3 socially orphaned children who lived in poor conditions. The organizers pointed out to an ongoing construction of 15 more houses in Muramati village, Laikipia County. Funding has played a key role in the creation of sustainable employment opportunities for young people in the area.
Every child deserves an opportunity to be able to learn, to study. And what that does for us is that it equalizes us through the use of housing. And so today we're here to support the communities, and we really want to thank our donors for providing the funding so that then we can be able to do this build for these vulnerable families.
The IHB technology uses locally available materials such as stone dust, sand and cement to make bricks using specialized plastic equipment.
Concrete hollow blocks it has both acoustic. It is when we are outside, the noise level, because it is a cavity wall, the noise level is very minimal, you cannot hear. And then on the extreme climate conditions, when it is too hot, the house is too cool. And then the wall is, because of the cavity nature, it's a fireproof wall. Another advantage is it's very easy to construct. Actually, you can erect a whole wall in one day, depending on the labor force you have.
The rural youths, majority being women below the age of 30, have benefited from masonry and marketing their products, and also thanking the organization for employment opportunities in the area.
Anachika, hakuna mama yake, hakuna baba yake, na nyumba ile mimi anakaa ananyachia. Mimi anasema nyinya, asante sana. Asante anakuja chikia mimi jina naongea jina. Karamagenta la karalu.
In other news, residents of Pumwani village in Magarini constituency, Kilifi County, have rejected a proposed settlement scheme in the area and instead demanded land adjudication to secure rightful boundaries and prevent displacement of Bonifit residents.
During a tense meeting at the Pumwani Trading Center, Magarini constituency, Pumwani villagers have opposed a proposal to introduce a settlement scheme. According to the residents, this could be a scheme to displace some of them. The residents now urges urgent action on land adjudication to promote peace and avoid displacement of residents after settling. Magarini constituency MP Harrison Kombe says that Pumwani has owners and they procreate, making it necessary to cover boundaries through land adjudication as required by the law.
Ardhi ni takriban kwa kukadiria ekari 7,000 kwa kukadiria, lakini idadi ya watu walioko ndani ni wengi sana, na imenakiliwa kwa kukadiria pia kwamba ni watu 350. Hiyo ni idadi ambayo haifiki hata asilimia 10 ya wale watu ambao wako. Hivyo basi tunasema idadi kamili kupatikana, wacha watu wapimiwe vile walivyo, alafu hesabu baadaye.
He also stated that their community stands and stays together peacefully as locals according to their culture and norms, and by that they discourage settlement since it will result to over 70% being locals and 30% visitors, thus displacement.
Lakini huko nyuma wahenga wakasema amani haiji bila ncha ya. Hatutaki tufike hapo. Hatutaki tufike hapo. Lakini mkitulazimisha kufika hapo, tutafika.
MCA Magarini Ward Paul Charo says for many years measuring of land has sometimes caused problems for residents by being displaced from what they are told is not their place, and they are trying to avoid this by agreeing to land adjudication as requested by the residents. Brian Ouma, KUTV.
Wananchi wetu wanaomba sana ya kwamba waweze kugawanyiwa ama waweze kupimiwa, zoezi hili lifanyike, wapimiwe jembe kwa jembe, kwa sababu kumekuwa na tetesi hapa na pale, lakini ombi langu mimi kama kiongozi wa hapa na vile msukumo ambao uko wananchi wangu, wapimiwe jembe kwa jembe.
Now, from that story, we are taking a very short commercial break. We'll be back with more stories.
We talk about the earth, but how well do we really know it? It's a whole planet. We'll explain it.
It's right to say that a proper environment means even better product.
Absolutely. On EarthCheck, we move on various topics that touch on this mother planet.
I really enjoy doing these activities with my peers and my organization.
Beekeeping is not just about the bees, it's about our environment and the future of our lives.
It is an open secret that if you don't take care of the environment, then the environment will take care of you.
Judge of the Environment and Land Court.
Looking on various stories and topical issues that affect us, that affect our dear planet. True care begins with understanding.
Na tumepitisha sheria mpya kupitia ile Environmental Management Act. Sasa kwamba wakati unapewa leseni lazima utoe ile inaitwa bond, environmental bond.
My name is Emmanuel Kutosi, and join me every Wednesday for EarthCheck, where I'll be sure to keep you updated.
The action is heating up. The rivalries are fierce and every moment counts.
PV Welteji 4, PV Laura Muir 5th.
From stunning goals and breathtaking saves to the last-minute winners and unforgettable celebrations, we've got it all. The passion is real, the stakes are high, and the moments are unforgettable. If it's making headlines in the world of sports, you will find it here. This is where champions are made. Experience every moment only on the sport.
How are your samples treated when you present them to a medic for further examination?
Laboratory is the foundation of medicine. You cannot manage patients without the laboratory because you need evidence, and that is exactly what we do here. So every time doctors see patients, they do some orders and requests for investigation. Microbiology, we do things to do with the microorganisms, so that's why we do bacteria identification. We do parasitology, we do malaria, and we also do something called antibiotic susceptibility testing, so that we can be able to identify the particular drug that's going to be used by the doctors to manage infections.
Welcome back. The National Assembly has appealed to the Supreme Court to reinstate critical sections of the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act. This legal battle intensified after the Court of Appeal struck down Section 22 and 23, ruling them unconstitutional. Parliament argues that the provisions are essential for combating false publications and protecting public order. They warn that invalidating the law creates a dangerous legal gap that paralyzes active criminal investigations. The Apex Court impending verdict will permanently shape Kenya's legal boundaries regarding digital security, free speech, and information accuracy. Now, on some business beat, as the week draws to a close, significant shifts in the business landscape have emerged. From the Kenya Bureau of Standards, KEBS, convening delegates in Mombasa to the National Assembly Committee on Regional Integration, taking steps to address smuggling along the Kenya-Uganda border. Stay tuned as we take you through what these changes mean to you and the economy.
KEBS has brought together delegates from more than 40 countries for the 32nd African Organization for Standardization, ARSO General Assembly.
As Africa, we cannot be disjointed. We need to have standards which are harmonized. We need to ensure that once a certificate is issued in one country, then the products can be able to close over the borders without having to be retested again.
Call for African countries to harmonize product standards and quality control system was made during the assembly to eliminate trade barriers and unlock greater inter-African trade.
The discussions during the week will be focusing on that we need one certificate working for us. And this will enable to increase the intra-African trade, which currently stands at only 16% when compared to other regional communities. Kenya is one of the countries that signed the AFCFTA, and with the rolling out of AFCFTA, the implementation standards will be the key drivers to enable trade.
Other news, the Kenya Airport Authority, KAA, registered a 2.7 billion loss, their profit reducing almost in half from 6.5 billion shillings registered the year before to 3.8 billion shillings this year. Fall in revenue, rising cost, and a near total collapse in foreign exchange gain were cited as some of the challenges that led to this. And a National Assembly Committee on Regional Integration is now calling for tax harmony and the use of stronger technological controls at border posts to help curb smuggling. The committee urged the government to address tax differences that they say still make smuggling look commercially appealing. As we progress further into the financial year, we wait to see how the introduction of the African Quality Mark will affect the quality of products within the African market and if existing ones will be able to meet the required standards.
And in sports news, Kenya Police Bullets have advanced to the semi-finals of the Women's Sekafa Kagame Cup after securing a convincing 3-1 victory over Burundi's Top Girls Academy in Kigali, Rwanda. The win puts the Bullets one step closer to the final, with the next challenge coming against South Sudan's Ye Jones Stars WFC on Saturday at 4 p.m. East African time at Pele Stadium. Both sides will be looking to secure a place in the Sekafa Zonal Qualifiers final. Meanwhile, after successfully hosting the Western Regional Finals in Bungoma, Safaricom now turns its attention to Kirinyaga for the Central Regional Finals of the Chapadimba tournament. Defending champions Barcelona Rising Starlets are targeting their 4th regional title in the competition. Action resumes at Wanguru Stadium on Saturday, with host Sportive Queens facing Barcelona Starlets in the girls' opening semi-final, while St. Joseph Starlets from Muranga will face the winners Friday playoff between Karatina Home Queens and Thriving Queens, while in the boys category, CDM Emmanuel FC will face Lees against Kiaga Secondary before Kiaguri take on Kiambu's Masfo in the showdown of the day. As the tournament will also feature clinics for players and coaches focusing on the mental health, data privacy and GPS technology. Safaricom seeks to help nurture and identify emerging talents across the country.
Is resilient. The ladies we've worked hard to reach this far, and we are thanking Chapadimba, Safaricom, fraternity to keep on this event, because it's bringing us to recognize some of the players which will go to, we can now make them to another level like Division 1, because this is where we can now tap talents.
First of all, it is a source of encouragement kwa wachezaji hapa grassroots, being that in the central region and especially in Nyeri, wasi wanaonanga talent ni kitu ya kuwaste time. Ukiambia mama yako ati nenda kwa uwanja, nenda kutrain, nenda kucheza, anaona unafaa kubaki nyumbani ukifanya kazi zingine. But now that ni kitu na happen countrywide, and we've seen in the previous seasons za Chapadimba that wase walienda hata outside country, wazazi kidogo wanaenda wakiembrace that way, na pia through sports tunaweza kuweka vijana wengi sana out of drugs.
Mimi kama coach naheshimu timu zote ambazo zitakuja nationals, lakini ule mwenye atakaa mbaya lazima nipita na yeye, na natarajia mipangilio yangu yote ya kucheza katika finali hapo nationals. Oh, definitely.
Tumengangana, tumejaribu tupate bao kwa game lakini imekataa. Tukafika finals, Mungu akatusaidia tumeshinda. Communication yetu imekuwa juu, teamwork, hard work yetu imekuwa juu. Tunajituma wote kwa uwanja.
Yeah, many thanks for keeping or being with us here at KUTV News at 9. It was a pleasure indeed telling you what has been taking center stage in the country and beyond. Many thanks to everyone that made this bulletin a success. With me has been Mutava Mungeli for the sign language interpretation, and many thanks to my producer, my director, and all of them that aided her in making this bulletin really a success. My name is Ochieng, Cynthia. Do have a lovely night.